Alrighty, so we're going to start today by sorting some words based on the sound you hear. I mean, of course, you're going to hear more than one sound because it's a whole word. But the sounds we work on, the k and the s. However, in each of these words, it's spelled with the letter C. So I'm going to present you the words, and you're going to tell me how is that. What sound are you hearing for the letter C? Okay. It'll make sense in a second. So the first word is could. Could. I've told you there's a C. Is that k or s? K. We heard k. All right, cool. You ready? Whoops, sorry. So I got ahead of myself. Hold on. So we know that C, cat, k. C, scent, s. That's how it works, right? The letter C has the capacity to make both of those sounds. Yes? Yes. Most of the time, k. Some of the time, s. Typically when it's followed by certain letters. I'm going to now read these words to you, and you're just going to tell me what sound did you hear. Did you hear k or did you hear s? And from what I'm telling you, even though you're not seeing each word, it's definitely spelled with the letter C. We're using the letter C. So the first word, could, what sound do you hear? K. Excellent. What about close? K. Good. And close is k. Ooh, there's an example of a consonant blend. Excellent. How about, like right now we're in class. Right now we're in class. What do you hear? K. Good. How about, okay, this one, listen carefully, it's not at the beginning. Fact. Fact. What do you hear? K or s? K. That got stuck. K. Good. How about this one? How about catch? Catch. K. Good job. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's do the next set. Sell. Cell. Oh, like cell phone. Yeah, cell, like cell phone. You hear? S. Excellent. Center. The center of the room the other day. S. All right. Dancer. Dancer. S. Right. Bouncing. Bouncing. S. All right. Last one. Pencil. Pencil. And actually, that's an excellent segue. I really hope you have your pencil because we are going to do some writing. We are going to write our own narrative. We're going to plan a tale that happened to you. And I'm kind of mad about this, which sounds weird to say. I'm mad about this because, full disclosure, we don't have as many stories together as I would like for us to have because of the way this school year has played out. But you know what? It has still been very, very special and unique. We definitely have some experiences that are uniquely ours. All right, guys. So we're going to plan a tale that happened to you. I've got a good one. Okay, y'all might not remember. This is way back. Almost near the beginning of the year. Not the very beginning, but like when we first switched over to second quarter probably or whatever. Probably not or whatever, probably. We were reading one afternoon and the power glitched at school. We were reading and the power glitched. And when the power glitched, I got dropped from the call. It was funny. See, look, I'm telling the story now. I shouldn't be telling the story now because we're going to write about it. But no, I want to remind you. So what happened was I got dropped from the call because the power glitched. And I had to call back on my phone. It's probably the first time I'd ever done it. Because I was the only way to get in. And the even funnier part, because there were people still in the call, it kept recording. So if you go back to that recording, Miss Lynn, people get just looking at me. Someone's older, someone's like, the power glitch, she'll be right back, come down. It was really funny, but definitely experiences that are unique to our particular situation. Now, so let's talk a little bit about personal narratives and narrative writing. So, I got some blah, blah, blah. What is it about a personal narrative that? Why are we so far back? Why did y'all let me do that? What is it about a personal narrative that makes it similar to a fiction story? There is a part of writing personal narratives that makes it similar to Cat Book 4.2. Sorry. That makes it similar to a fiction story. What is that? Okay, good. So they have the same elements like title, setting, characters, plot. But how is a personal narrative different from a fiction story? Because we're describing something that really happened. And the author, the writer, or the narrator is one of the characters. This is where you use your I's, your me's, your we's in the story because you're talking about yourself. It's not actually make-believe, but it is a story to entertain. I'm not giving you any information. I mean, it might be informative to some people depending on what we talked about that day, but it is a story in the sense that there are characters, there is setting, there is plot, there's a beginning, a middle, and end. Something went wrong, the problem got solved, happily ever after. But it's true. It's what really happened to somebody. So today, we're going to plan a tale about what happened at the time the power glitched. When the power glitched, because that's an experience that is uniquely ours that we can't share with anybody else, okay? And we could share with other people, but it would be us telling a story, just like I just did. I told the story. So, who was in the tale and describe them? So we need to use some describing words. So, Miss Lamb. So Miss Lamb and my students. So all of you guys were there. But I want to describe the students. Okay? We're going to describe these students as worried students. Because you got to think about it, this is the first time it's ever happened. Now, we've had a couple incidences where I'm frozen and I've told you, okay, I'm going to hang up. But it's never happened where I just dropped out, except that one time. And it was storming bad outside. It was bad. And we had to, just make it work. So so is Mrs. Lamb and worried students. That's the describer. They were worried. All right. Where and when. Describe the setting. So it was an afternoon. That's when. That's the time. So where was on teams. We're going to put a capital T because that's the name of the specific calling program we use. So on teams. What season? Was summer? I think fall. Summer, fall afternoon. So on teams in the afternoon. Remember, this is just the plan. These are not complete sentences. It's not the whole story. This is just setting ourselves up for, to tell the tale. So when we get into what happened at the start, what happened next, what happened after that, what happened last. Describe all parts of the tale. This isn't a very big box, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to number it. We're going to go with just 3 this time. First, next, last for this one. Because it's kind of a short story and the problem got solved. And we finished reading the book with my phone. And it was all part of the recording. It's back there. If you want to go back to Q2 live calls, it's in It's in there. All right, so what happened at the start? What happened at the beginning of that story? What happened in the beginning? Well, what prompted us to be worried in the first place? What was going outside? What happened? It was storming. Yes, it was storming. Good. All right, what happened at the start? So it was storming during, it was storming outside. That's where. It was storming outside. It was storming outside. And then point timber in the middle. So it was storming outside. And the next thing that would happen was, so what happened next? So it was storming outside. So we're already setting the tone that something could go awry. It was storming outside. It was like, kind of scary a little bit. It was dark. It was not so much fun. Okay. So what did I start? What was I doing? I was what? What was I doing for you guys? What was I doing with you? I was reading a book. Good. So in the middle, I was reading a book and the power glitched. So what happens when the power glitches? The power went out. Good. So Mrs. Lamb was reading and make this 3 smaller. The power went out. The power went out. The power went out. Mrs. Lamb was reading and the power went out. Okay, so how did we solve the problem? How did the story end? She being me, so you're referring to me, she called back on her phone and finished the story. Yay! So she called back and finished. She called back and finished. Don't worry that we're touching in the next box. The story. She called back and finished the story. Good job. All right, so Mrs. Lamb and worried students are on teams in the afternoon. It was storming outside, and Mrs. Lamb was reading, and the power went out. She called, the power went out. Oh no. So she called back and finished the story. Now clearly there's some minor bits that have to fit into the middle there, but isn't that like the overall that's what went down, right? Yeah. So does this story have a why? Why did this happen? Why was this important? No, I don't think this story has a why. Not this time. No, we don't have really a why this time. I mean, the power went out because sometimes when the storms, the power goes out. Everybody was fine. I was fine. And the problem got resolved because I realized, okay. Because it was just a glitch. The power popped right back on. The internet wasn't connecting back fast enough. So I called on Teams on my phone. It's like, ta-da, here we are. All right, guys. So let's make sure we all have our plan copied and ready because we're going to move on to the draft. We're going to move on to draft, which gives us a place to add more information. We're going to add more information. So let's get our plan and make sure this is ready, okay? so we now have our plan. We can go ahead and proceed with our draft. So we're going to go ahead and take this information and expand and make complete sentences on the very next page. We're going to expand. We're going to make complete sentences on the very next page. Woo. It's like, wait, we're planning and drafting today? We are planning and drafting today. Yes. So we're going to draft the tale of what happened to you. So this time we're going to take what we wrote here and we're going to give it even more oomph, even more boom, boom, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so who is in the tale? We still don't have a title yet, and that's fine. Who is in the tale? Consists of. So instead of just writing Mrs. Lamb and worried students, so instead of literally writing Mrs. Lamb, worried students as bullets, we're going to write Mrs. Lamb and her worried students. See, now we're making a complete sentence. We're still not worried too much about making sure everything's spelled 100% correctly, because right now this is all about taking our plan, making complete sentences to form a draft. Because we're still going to have to edit this. We're still going to have to make this a final published ready presentation paper. Yes? Narrative. So it's a personal narrative. This is a story. This is an event that occurred that we were all there for. You know what, low-key, if I can find that recording, I will. Let me see if I can find that one, okay? All right. Who is in the tale? Mrs. And her worried. Let's see, will students fit here or should I return sweep? Definitely hit it with the return sweep, okay? Students. Mrs. Lamb and her worried students. All right, looking back at our plan, we know who. Check. Now, where and when? Where did the tale take place? When did the tale take place? Look at all this space we have for where. On Teams is not going to give us enough information. So on Teams, yeah, technically that's the correct answer, but look at all the space they gave us. So in theory, when we're writing a tale, we can have multiple places. But this is just one Teams call. So, let's see, where and when did this tale take place? We're going to describe the afternoon. We're going to describe the Teams, where did the tale take place? Let's see. It was definitely a busy call. People were just very excited to share things. So, where did the tale take place? During see, that's confusing because during implies when. Let's think about this. How do we want to do this? So, okay, wait a minute. It's a draft. This is a draft, right? Scratch it out. Keep it moving. If it's good enough for Thomas Jefferson, it's good enough for us. So, no, not during, because during is when. Where? No, I still like during. We're going to use during, okay? Because during is still part of the, because of the way our class is set up right now, during is part of the where. So during class, during live, on a busy, capital T Teams, because it's the name of the platform, on a Teams. During class, during live on a busy Teams call, when one stormy, who is getting the one stormy? summer. You know how the weather's here. One stormy, oh, I don't like that. Yeah, one stormy, late summer afternoon. I like that. Okay, so Mrs. Lamb and her worried students during live on a busy Teams call one stormy late summer afternoon. Ooh, is our narrative getting good? Is our narrative getting good? We've already established we don't have a why, so we don't need a why. But what happened? Well, let's take all these notes. Because we've already, see what we did there? When we talked about the when, we already leaned into the beginning a little bit, which is a really good storytelling technique to help us, spread out the information more. So we're going to get into like a little, kind of like 1.5 and then 2 and 3. So let's get into 1.5 and 2 and 3, okay? So, all right. One stormy late summer afternoon. So if it was storming outside, instead of saying it was storming outside, because it's already a stormy late summer afternoon, well, what time do we meet? We know this. During live on a busy Teams call one stormy late summer afternoon, it was raining hard at 2:30. What happens at 2:30 that makes us have to wait a minute before we start recording? The bell rings, and that's an excellent note to add. You want the person reading your story to be like, ooh, and then what happened? It was raining hard at 2:30 when the bell rang. Are you already interested? When the bell rang, Mrs. Lamb started Is reading gonna fit here? No. Reading. Was it a good book or a bad book? It's probably a good book. Probably a good book. Okay. Reading a good book. All of a sudden, oh! Like out of nowhere, all of a sudden, like going back to ourselves, we said the power went out. All of a sudden, the power went out. Where was I at? Where was I reading at? At school? Okay. The power went out at school. And because the power went out, what happened to me in the call? I got dropped from the call. Good. All of a sudden, the power went out at school. And she was dropped from the call. How did you guys respond? we? This is your story. Good job. So we got upset and called for, we got upset and called for her over and over again. Alright, so cool thing about this, we've already decided that this story didn't really have a why. So I'm going to utilize this space and I'm going to keep writing because I want all my information. And so far, the power's still out. I'm not back in the call. What did you do after you called for me over and over and over again? Luckily, she called us back on her phone. All right, so this is our draft, right? So we said Mrs. Lamb and her worried students is who? During live on a busy Teams call one stormy late summer afternoon. That's setting. Let's think, so characters. We've got characters. Who? We have setting, which is where, the place. Oh, I'll show the E. The place and when, the time. We also have what, some big old plot, which is all the things that went down. So, Mrs. Lamb and her worried students during live on a busy Teams call one stormy late summer afternoon. It was raining hard at 2:30 when the bell rang. Mrs. Lamb started reading a good book. All of a sudden, the power went out at school and she was dropped from the call. We got upset and called for her over and over again. Luckily, she called us back on her phone and finished the story. The end. All right, we did good? All right, guys, so let's make sure. Okay, now remember, this is just a draft. This is not our final version. We need to make sure that we have our draft ready so we can turn it in. We need to make sure we have our draft ready to turn in so that way we'll be able to edit it later. So let's make sure our draft is ready.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be involved in the youth workshop in future years, go ahead and click the link in the description, sign up for our mailing list, and we'll tell you all about it. Special thanks to Peter Steiner for playing the solo at the beginning, Carol Jarvis, Jürgen van Ryan for jumping in as well. It was a ton of fun. And thanks to all the students and parents for making it happen. We can't wait to do it again. So again, click the link and sign up for the mailing list if you want to be involved. That's students all the way middle school through high school. Yeah, this was an amazing week, and we can't wait to do it again. So thank you so much. Thanks to the Patreon donors making all these videos possible. If you want to check out my album, Half Man, Half Machine, on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play, it sounds a little something like...
Yes, we have our plan. Where is it? We have our plan that we wrote, which was just notes to get us going. And we have our draft. Yeah, we have our draft detail. So now we will be ready to edit the next time we meet. So make sure you got all your pieces so that we'll be ready. Well, not the next time. It's coming, but not the very next time. Sorry about that. But yes, so we have our draft. I want to see your draft, guys. I want to see your draft about our tale of the time the power went out. Because something is still glaringly missing. We don't have a title. We don't have a title. But we'll worry about that together a little bit later on. We still need a title. But in the meantime, you're going to turn in a picture of this draft that we just did. Today is also the day, it's Wednesday, so you're going to practice with your spelling words. You're going to complete the word search. I already found one word for you. I found shredded. Shredded is when you tear things up into little teeny tiny pieces. Most common place you might see this is the little bitty cheese that's on tacos. Confetti is shredded paper. So those are good examples of shredded. You're also going to draw pictures for your words. And I, for you, have done batter. Batter. This is an example of batter. This is also a batter. Either or could be right. You could either draw batter like pancake or cake or cupcake batter, or batter like the person hitting the ball playing baseball. However, if you just have a picture, are you done? No, I'm not done. Whether I choose pancake or baseball, I need to write the word. Write the word. So you have your spelling practice to prepare for your spelling test. You also are going to submit to me a picture of the draft we wrote together. I need a picture of the draft we wrote together, guys. But that is all I have for you. I cannot wait to see what you turn in because, we still got to edit and finalize. And at some point, we're going to need some illustration. All right, guys, but that's all I have for you. I can't wait to see you later. And until next time, bye.